Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another punchy episode of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Oh, baby. Today, we're hacking your life into one habit at a time, starting with why your email addiction might be sabotaging your happiness and productivity, and how ditching that dopamine, or as Jimmy is it dopamine, the dopamine drip can unlock some peak performance. Coming up, we've got a jam-packed lineup today in the lab. In the morning loop, we're digging into whether reversing your bucket list might actually boost your happiness and unraveling what really happens to your brain when you're flipping through pages. On center stage, we got a PR legend who's launched more brands than NASA has rockets. Richard Lermer is here to spill his secrets to epic success. Plus, we're stacking habits with a cold blast power word hack. Checking out the CIA's secret decision-making techniques and getting a fresh protein break update on nuts for heart health. Yeah, heart health. And in a deep dive, we're going to get after what happens when you stop just living in your inbox and focusing on the productive things in life. And hey, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. Hit the like button, subscribe, drop your hottest takes in the comments below. And remember, this is an R-rated experience, you guys. It's time to shuffle the kids out of the room or put the headphones in and tell them that, hey, there's some bad words that might come out of our mouths. And just another reminder, guys, we are the Anti-Snooze Show. Yeah, no snoozing here today, guys. I think Johnny's standing in the lab today, Jimmy. I think he's got a stand-up situation going on over there. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Jimmy, bring in Johnny. Let's rock and roll. Let's get more into the lab with started right now.
Did you see me put my shit up? Is that what happened?
Did I'm like, oh, the boy's standing today. What's up with that, pal?
I guess a couple things. Well, first off, I was going to say I'm just running right at the timeline because I've had this really last couple of days, some really killers I call sitting in silence. I have renamed that.
Oh, do tell.
That's my problem solving time.
Oh,
because it's number one, it's that name alone.
Yes.
Oh shit. When I'm standing up, I realize I moved this table. I'm spilling my goddamn coffee all over the place.
Yeah.
But I just realized that when I'm in there, first thing I do is I kind of solve my problem for the day, which is slow down my mind.
Yes.
Once I get there, then it's like, then there's all these other things start coming to me, so to speak. And so I realize when I'm done, I have a good session that I've solved some problems.
Oh,
right.
There you go.
And I thought about that. Do I want to call it problem solving? Probably, but realistically, it's not really problem solving. It's more solution creating.
I was going to say, or I was going to say opportunity enlightenment.
Yeah. And so it's like, I was like, holy shit. It's almost like, because I talk to my clients about reframing shit all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, I just reframed, this whole thing and it like becomes so much more appealing to me.
Yes.
Because now I can't wait to get in there. As to where before sometimes there's a little bit of a struggle,
Oh, I see. Yeah. So reframing it as I want to jump into that mindset. Good morning, Amy Reiner. Good morning, Adam Holroyd. We're talking getting up and getting after it and solving problems first thing in the morning. So you're reframing because quote unquote yesterday, you're sitting down solving a problem. But now you're sitting there going, okay, if I reframe it, I will come out of this session with a solution. And by the way, I like the standing. I can already see the energy because I'm standing too. I fucking love it, man. It's good. But
it's two steps because I went from actually 3-4 steps because it went from meditation. I got rid of that works. People get fucking freaked out.
Yeah.
Then I went to sitting in silence. And then as I developed it, I started, well, holy shit, I don't even know what questions to ask, but the answers are coming.
Yeah.
So then I started realizing, wow, this is actually not just centering myself. This is actually figuring shit out. And
I don't know what questions to ask, but the answers are already coming. I like that.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, every time I have a good session, I come out of here with some really good solutions. I've solved some problems. Like, perfect example, the reason that I said this is you triggered my mind because standing at this desk is actually solving a fucking problem that I figured out this morning.
Tell me.
Because I sit down, and obviously I tend to sit too much because of my desk, right?
Yes.
And this one goes up and down. The one in my office does not. And so I probably have to get one of these motherfuckers, honestly, down in the other house. Because the other one's adjustable, meaning I can adjust it, but I can't go up and down. But anyway, So I'm having this fucking issue with my back, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? It just showed up. Well, as I started backtracking in my problem solving session, or my solution creating session, I changed how I stretch my hamstrings. I made it a little more aggressive. What that did was pitched me forward in my back. I couldn't keep tall and proud.
Yeah, it does.
So sitting here for fucking an hour, 90 minutes a day like that, just put this fucking kink under my right shoulder blade. Like, I mean, to the point where over the weekend, I'm walking along and I'm fucking shrieking like a little girl. Terry's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." I don't know what this I keep getting this pinch, you know? Anyway, so that's a perfect example. I created a solution for a problem that I really was trying to, and I figured it out in my session.
I love that. I think what you also recognize is that because you sit for a good chunk of your day with life, you're like, hey, during this show in the morning, there's no reason I can't stand, because standing is going to give me power.
Yeah, I mean, when it came down to it, I always am pretty good about sitting in the proper position, making sure I keep that good curve to my back. But I don't stretch my hamstrings at my desk. I stretch my hamstrings during the show, which changed how I sit.
Yeah.
So, although I do need to figure this shit out, because as I sit here and move around, my fucking coffee is just spilling all over the goddamn place. Like, I'm muscling this table around way too much.
As I'm sitting here doing my thing, my mouse is dying on me, but that's okay. I just plugged it in here. So, Johnny, I need to address a quick little thing this morning with you. My beloved. So I'm wearing the jersey for the last time today for the season. My team lost. A team lost on Saturday night, but I want to share the story with you.
Does that mean it's over?
Yeah, it's over for my team. Yeah, Dallas beat Winnipeg. But let me tell you what happened, brother, because I think as you as a human being and just knowing your mindset, you're going to be kind of blown away with what's happened. So the game is Saturday night. Our star player wakes up Saturday morning. His dad dies overnight.
That's a tough one. No question about that, brother.
So the question he has to ask himself, do I play tonight? Does dad want me to play, or do I sit out and mourn the loss of my father? Well, he's like, hey, my dad would want me to play. So Johnny, in the ultimate display, pardon my language, of fucking courage, the guy goes out, scores the first goal, puts his team ahead, battles the entire game. As the game gets towards the third period, there's 15 seconds left in the game. The other team's on a breakaway about to score. He trips him, gets a penalty, ends up in the penalty box for overtime. They go to overtime, and, just like anything in sports, the next goal wins. Our star player is in the box mourning the loss of his father. The other team scores. We lose. We're done. But just, the courage that young man put on display was unbelievable, frankly. And that's
probably more. That's more memorable than the championship.
It's hard. It's hard to argue that, like the human element of that. It's hard to argue with what that young man put himself through that day and how he carried his team, and win or lose, it was just an undeniable display of courage and humanity. And
what I think that courage represented, his dad was with him.
100%.
Fucking here goes that motherfucker, catch him, trip his ass, and the game's over.
Yeah,
there's an NFL version of the story.
Yes.
Brett Favre.
Yes.
You heard that one? I mean, Brett Favre just went fucking off,
Yes.
And exactly what you said. He's like, well, what would my dad want me to do? And Brett Favre's dad was a hard ass, as I understand it.
Yes.
He's like, I better play. He's going to kick my ass.
Speaking of that,
that idea, the idea of a person, no matter what the situation is, performing at a very high level in those situations is fucking inspiring. People need to see that in all walks of life, all arenas of life. So that's a wonderful story.
Yeah, no, you're right, brother. And I thought of you too. I thought of you numerous times on Saturday, which is you put your saying in place, right? Which is every good tragedy. What is it? Don't let a good
tragedy go to waste.
And there was a tragic event for the team, for the player, and the fellow was, and his father was young, like he was, he wasn't 150 years old, he was a young man. But regardless of that, it was just it was a display of courage, and I'm proud to say that proud of my hockey team, and what it is, Johnny, I'll just leave it with this. I love being a fan. There's something about being a fan, right? It's the joy and the journey of being a fan, and I thoroughly enjoy that. Now it's done, and now we get on with it till next season.
Well, I guess every situation comes to an end. Even if you'd won the championship, you'd still be looking forward to next year.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of coming to an end, I got to quickly. You brought up Brett Favre. I've been meaning to bring this up with you, Marty, for a while. Do you remember the incident? So I used to watch a little bit of NFL growing up with Gastineau and Favre and the whole guys there growing up. Remember that one hit Mark Gastineau put on Brett Favre years ago? I don't know if you remember it all, and it actually gave him a concussion. Well, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't a concussion. It was there was a play that happened, and Gastineau was penalized for it, fined for it. Then they hadn't seen each other in like 30 years. They got reintroduced to each other at some event.
Oh, I was thinking literally, but you know what it was? So it wasn't Gastineau got penalized.
No, it was
the fact that Gastineau had. I used to love Gastineau. Gastineau was a fucking savage, but Jesus Christ, I saw that video. I'm like, dude, pull up your panties. Yes. God damn it.
Yes.
But so what happened was, Mark, what's up, brother?
Morning,
Come on, man.
What's up, man? What's going on?
Come on, man. So
Gastineau, I never heard of.
Gastineau had that. So he's one of the best defensive ends playing at his time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anyway, so he had the sack record, right?
Yes.
And to have a sack record is like fucking crazy. Well, Michael Strahan, I believe you should know that one, Mark.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
He's basically there. He gets one more. He's tied with Gastineau. Well, this play comes about where it's towards the end of a game, and of course Favre and Strahan, they've been talking smack to each other all game, and they're just brotherly, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, this play comes where it's like, I don't know if somebody missed a block, but Strahan comes around a corner, and basically Favre just kind of said, "Fuck, I'm going down." Right. So, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
You get a defensive end like fucking Strahan. If Favre is on his heels, he's not getting away. He's just going to get possibly hurt. So I think what happened, there was probably a little bit of both. I think Favre was like, fuck, I don't think I'm going to get away because this motherfucker's fast as hell, because Strahan was a beast coming around the edge. And the fact that he's like, let my brother have the record.
Yes.
And so Gastineau just took it clear, just straight up. The fucking glass is half empty. You gave it to him. That took my identity away. You pussy shit.
That's what I remember. That's what it was.
That's a pussy move for sure.
Yeah,
I totally lost. I mean, I still have a lot of respect for anybody that played in the NFL, but god damn it, man.
Well,
he was crazy, but poor guy. You could see it wasn't just that. His whole he was fat. He was tired. He looked like he had life had beat the snot out of him. Well, dude, nobody should be that way.
Well, you know what, and Johnny, to give Marty some additional context to this too. Marty, this happened like 30 years ago, Marty, like 40 years ago. Like this didn't happen last week. And you'd like to think that time goes by and time heals wounds.
God damn it!
Or 20 years, Mark. It was
20.
Yeah, but it wasn't like last week. It was like at least 20 years ago. Man. So the fact that they're reunited at an event, Marty, and the guy tears off on them, and you're like, holy smokes, man, we're carrying grudges. And it just seemed like somewhat. Yeah, I'm with you, Donnie. I lost some respect from that whole thing.
I was like, God damn, dude, that was so.
I didn't even know the hell he was talking about. He was like, huh? Like
he had no clue. He had no clue, And if Gastineau would have come up and been a little bit more of a hard ass like Favre, you fucking pussy.
Yeah,
you should have tried to get away. You gave my record away because you were too lazy that day. You bitch. Just the tone of his voice. I don't want to hear that. I don't give a damn what you're talking about. Yes. Hey, check this out. Marty. Well, Keith, you can be under this little game too.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, go back to the village. Marty and I handle our business.
Yeah, let's stay in the village, Keith.
Okay. Who am I imitating right now?
Me, you fucker. I know the game. I know how it works.
Because before you got on, Mark, we were talking. I'd put my desk in standing position.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why when Keith freezes, that's how he figures out if he's coming back. He rocks.
Can you not see John's energy right now, Marty? He just I feel like he's gonna jump through the camera. I can just see him leaning in.
Yeah, John had a good weekend, man. I can tell.
No, it was a good morning, man. But I gotta say, brother, can't give this fucking standing thing that much credit. Jesus Christ. I mean, fuck. I mean, it's really not that big of a deal. It's just the fact that I've solved the problem and that standing is going to help that problem. That's where the juice is.
Oh, I love it. Boys, let's do the accountability check-in. Let's come back and keep having some fun. I want to hear what Marty was up to all weekend, Johnny. So when we come back to that, Marty, get ready. I'm asking you the question. What did you do all weekend, brother? I'm asking you.
Ain't shit going on. I ain't do shit.
Let's get after it, Marty. Good morning, Clody. Good morning, Lady Drew. Good to see you guys here on the Canadian long weekend, the Canadian Memorial Day. We call it Victoria Day. Good morning, everybody. You heard Keith, Jon, and Marty. The gang is back here in the lab here on Morning Lab with Keith and Friends. You're getting after the accountability check-in. Hey, guys, do you feel happy when you play it safe? Like, do you really? Or is that complacency? I don't know. I don't know if that's, I don't know if, yeah. Here's the thing. I know that if I'm not taking big risks, I'm not going to progress the way that I want to. I talk about this life of not wanting to move forward with regret. Safety is easy. Safety sounds smart, but it's usually just fear in disguise. The fear of failing, the fear of looking stupid, the fear of losing what you've built. So you sit there, you stay quiet when there's something worth saying, and you hold on to stability that's keeping you small. And then you wonder why you're restless, you're distracted, or maybe you're stuck. Well, here's the truth. Growth doesn't come from comfort. Ask Johnny what he's going through this morning. Solving problems, right? Playing it safe builds invisible cages. Playing it safe is going through the motions. Playing it safe is just getting up and going through till tomorrow. If it doesn't scare you, you're not growing. Because business athletes know that you don't drift your way into a bold, fulfilling if you bet yourself loudly, publicly, often. So next time you hesitate, I invite you to ask this one question. It's the one question. What opportunities am I wasting by playing it safe? And let me invite you to think about this. It's Monday today, the loop. As you go through the week, are you going to be sitting in the same spot in a week from now still playing it safe? Because if you are, is that really what you want? Is that the life you're striving to get? 2 weeks from now are going to happen anyways. Think about it. Is safety your key to moving forward, or is safety just a net in disguise that's holding you back? There's your accountability check-in this morning on Morning Lab with Keith and Friends. Jimmy. Look at those numbers, brother. All right, let's keep going. We got the big, most important question for our brother from another mother, Christopher Martin. Marty, I gotta have a quick little hockey chat with you. So I see that your Capitals are done and my Jets are done. The two top teams in the league done. Just done. We're out.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you can't talk trash to me, so that's a good thing.
I can't talk trash to you anymore, brother. I just have
Thank God. Shut up. No, I'm playing.
How was your weekend, pal? Tell me about your weekend, buddy. What went on for you? Listen, I know it's probably boring and just normal, but just
Dog, I didn't do a thing, man. I relaxed. We went out to eat with some coworkers yesterday. We got the president of this company, this restaurant called Silver Diner goes to our gym. So he hooked us up with some food at Silver Diner. That was probably the highlight of my weekend, man. That's about it. I've just been, I've worked on a lot of stuff.
Yes. You're making those faceless history channels.
Yeah, I got I got another channel too that I'm working on. I didn't tell you about that one. Oh, but I got a Pakistani Jimmy this weekend. So
nice.
We working.
Nice.
Yeah, we working.
What the hell is that? A Pakistani Jimmy? It sounds like you're talking about you got a Pakistani Jimmy, like you got the Pakistani Jimmy in your shorts. So what are you talking about here?
I don't know about that. No, I'm playing.
I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm saying that definitely leaves that open for the wrong interpretation.
Nah, you know what's crazy? So the first time I made that joke to Keith, I said no, and I'm not talking life expectancy. And Keith thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But no, like Jimmy on our show.
Okay.
I got one to help me with my YouTube stuff.
Oh, is Jimmy from Pakistan?
No, Jimmy's from
Philippines. I got one.
Oh, you got one from Pakistan.
Yeah.
Brother, just a quick heads up. I've had some of those too, and you got watch some of some of these areas. They seem to be a little more corrupt than others. So just watch that.
Yeah. We'll see. Well, it was I was on Upwork, and the guy got really good reviews. So
awesome.
Well, real quick, I mean,
pretty trusted.
Just a little food for vice. I mean, or thought for whatever the fuck that saying is. Jesus Christ.
Food for thought.
There we go. Thank you, Jesus Christ. With these VAs, really the biggest key is them doing time, meaning that they've done the test of time and not done something untrustworthy with someone that you trust. And fucking our man right here is a fucking wealth of information and referrals for people like that.
Oh yeah.
I actually have 2 different ones right now that are working for me right now. And the best part is just fucking changing their lives.
Yes. You guys see Rick Colodi's comment? Rick says, I got my Pakistani Jimmy surgically removed. It was giving me problems.
You want to know what's crazy, Johnny? I got another guy in Poland helping me. So I text Keith. I said, hey, I got a Polish Jimmy.
Marty's got Jimmys all over the world.
Got Jimmy all over the place.
Jimmy's
so check this out there, brother. And I say this because I only want the best for you. Just be careful because you're going to have, you're talking about reviews from people you don't know. What about reviews from someone you do know?
Well, I will say the guy in Poland has been awesome. So I'll say that.
Well, they're always awesome until they fucking smoke you.
Nah, I ain't gonna get. No.
Well, listen, I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying it's like you've got, it's like if someone in your family went to another trainer to ask for advice. What the fuck, man? It's like you've got the resource right here, and you went somewhere else. It's your choice, but why not use the resource? Because you know that there's love, that there's respect. You're only going to get the right information. Like Keith, when Keith was giving me some people, I knew he would never give me someone who was even in question.
Oh yeah.
So just think about that.
Well, I'm asking for small tasks right now. I ain't asking for nothing.
Dude, they don't give a damn. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I start them off. I start them off with an hour a day just to see what they look like, even if they come from Keith. And if they do it well, then I'd start spooling it up.
I got you.
Hey, have you guys been into have either one of you ever played in your head with the idea of a bucket list? Is that a word you talk about, Marty?
Dude,
or John?
That's so fucking terrible, dude.
Yeah,
just the fact that people have that motherfucker. How about just check that bitch off as you're fucking going through life? Don't make a list of the shit you want to do. Just fucking go do it.
Marty?
God damn it.
Yeah, you're right, Johnny.
I don't disagree. I found something though, guys, a psychological tool, and I think you guys are going to like this. That's why I want to talk about it with you guys. There's this idea, boys, about why looking back could be the key to moving forward, and call it what you want it, but it's this concept of the reverse bucket list. So, John, Marty, in our case, it would be simply reflecting back on what I've achieved and enjoying what I've achieved in life, instead of always worrying about what I haven't achieved and trying to achieve what I haven't yet. So,
hey, let me argue the flip side of that real quick.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking to myself, but I believe this applies to just about every human being.
Yes.
Is that I think that the idea of looking back or looking forward is too misunderstood.
Let's talk about it.
How about you don't like looking back? Okay, it's great to look back, smell the roses. Hey, I'm really proud of what I did. I can learn from what I did.
Yeah. But
then looking forward should just be, okay, I got this cool thing I want to do, but now I'm just looking at today. Because if today is executed in a way we made progress, you put your head on the pillow happy. And that's really what we're looking for. This whole reverse bucket list, whatever you want to call it, it's a form of creating happiness in your life when all you got to look at your loop.
Well,
your loop has all the happiness you need. Well, are you using your loop properly?
Yeah, and you're not wrong, because there's a happiness expert, Arthur Brooks, that talks about true happiness, and that's what this point is really about. Is taking time out of our life. What this research and this psychotherapist was talking about, boys, is that too many of us are focused on working on what we're looking to achieve and not really reflecting on what we already have or what we've already accomplished. And sometimes it's the idea of being, and I don't mean being content and kind of being like, I'm content, I'm just sitting on the couch. No, it's being content in happiness, as in, oh man, geez, I was one of the world's strongest men. I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm really happy with where I am right now. I got up this morning, got out of bed, solved some problems. And that's what they're really talking about, Johnny and Marty. Instead of focusing so much on, I got to do that next. I got to do that next. Hold on.
Well, you're using me as an example.
Yeah.
Okay, this fulfilling journey of strength has now come to a close.
Yes.
I'd like to restart another one.
There you go.
I enjoy that journey. I enjoy that daily battle.
Yes.
I would like to restart a new venture. That venture came to a close.
Yes. But for you though, as the example, and I think this is a great one, Johnny, is that you can sit back, you can reflect upon that success and happiness. You go, yeah, I like that. Then you can bring yourself to the moment, have some happiness right now, and then look to the future and have some happiness. Again, I think
the happiness was the whole fucking time.
But for many who chase bucket lists, and I'm not talking about the three of us, I'm talking about for many that chase bucket lists, it's often not having, and Rick Clody brings it up, is not really focusing on the gratitude of what you've already accomplished or what you have in front of you right now. Right. It's always looking at the book and wondering.
I agree. I so agree.
It's mindset shift, which is inviting people to reflect on today. It's like, hey, did you do some good shit? I got to get this done by Friday. Hold on. What did you accomplish last week? Oh, I got that done. Well, hey, then enjoy that. Enjoy what you accomplished last week. Enjoy the moment you're in today, and then focus on what you get into on Friday.
But what about taking a step further?
Yeah.
Enjoy last week in the moment and realize that you can look back and learn so you can enjoy this week or today even more.
Yes. Yeah.
I think I'm totally with, being grateful and for what you have. But I think when it comes down to it, I think the happiness is generated in today.
Oh, I agree with you there, brother. And I got a good friend at Dallas, actually, Ray White, who's written many books. He's an expert in happiness, and he very much subscribed to that philosophy, Johnny, which is finding a way to not only look at your quote unquote your bucket list of tomorrow, not only look at what you've accomplished yesterday, but really focus on what's making you happy right now. Right?
Brother, it's 100%, and it's such a fine little toggle.
It is
because
it is.
So there's the present right now.
Yes.
And then you have to have a little bit of the past so you can learn.
Yes.
Because if you fuck shit up, now it's going to pull you back to fix shit, which you don't want. So you have to always look back enough to learn so that when you're looking into that little bit of your future, just a tiny bit, that you're not making the mistakes that you made in the past. So really it's this primary present, just a little toggle back, little toggle forward.
That's it, Johnny. And maybe this is a great way to kind of, wrap this, this thought up. You don't need to climb a mountain or win an award to feel proud of your life, because sometimes the greatest success is simply surviving the hard, quote unquote, seasons and still being open to joy along the way. So men, before you chase that next dream, I invite you to pause and honor the journey that you've already walked, because you've achieved that. And then honor the journey you're in today, while you're still looking at what you're going to achieve around the next corner. And again,
let me add some of that too, brother. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm passionate about this shit.
I love it.
I mean, I just prepared a post this morning, and it was, do hard shit. I'm not quoting it exactly. When you're doing easy shit, there's no fulfillment. So you can get that little thing like, God, I'm going to do something that challenges me today. And it could be waking up early. It could be whatever it is. Doing something challenging, overcoming a little bit of adversity will bring a level of we're talking about happiness that's really overlooked.
Happiness is an interesting thing, isn't it? It really is, because it's so ambivalent and so ambiguous. Yet when we know when we're in it, it's powerful. Yet sometimes we spend so much time chasing it. And all we have to do sometimes is just slow ourselves down and reflect on where we're at in the moment. Marty,
yes.
Marty, have you been one who's chased the idea of quote unquote the bucket list or future goals, or have you always kind of focused on living in the present?
I'm always focused on the future.
Yeah.
For me, living in the present, it brings a sense of gratitude, but then it could bring a sense of complacency too.
Yes. Oh, interesting. Right. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So if you let's say, you got the job you wanted, or your business is doing well, you hit your business goal, you hit your fitness goal, right? you can just stay there and kind of be like that OG at the bar. That's, I'm back in high school. I was dropping 40 points.
Right.
You can get in that type of mindset. So
yes,
you always got to be working towards something. There's always room for improvement. And you think about it, that's how, relationships could fail. That's how businesses fall off when you stay in the moment too much and you're not trying to evolve. Yes. That's just my perspective on it.
I'm with you there. Hey, Clever, what's shaking, brother? Those sunglasses. I am the villain. I am Boris from Men in Black. And Rick Cody comes with gratitude is a magical contentment superpower. And Rick Cody comes back with reverse bucket list. Interesting. Yep. Jim Collins says we need a flywheel, something we do over and over today, like a loop that builds momentum. And Benzie comes in with couldn't a bucket list be a list of goals? One of the things that I think is an interesting word. There's two of them that start with a C. And Marty, you brought it up because there's a fine balance between the two of them. It's content and complacent, right? Because we can become complacent and everything just, like you said, Marty, that dude's sitting at the bar. He's been sitting there since we were in high school, right? He's still there 30 years later. Or there's content, which is I'm happy in my space. I'm happy with what I've achieved. I got full of gratitude. I'm moving forward. It's a fine line, man, between content and complacency. Do you guys agree with that?
Well, I think it's all how you look. And if you're looking into the past to get that feeling of, oh man, this is great.
Yes.
No. You look into the past to say, okay, look, that's how I did it.
Yes.
That was cool, but I can take this nugget and I can do the next thing a little bit better because of that.
Yes.
If you're looking at the past or what you've accomplished in the wrong light, I can totally see what Marty's saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You have to look at it in the proper frame of mind. So, because some people they're fuck, man. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I don't really go back to where I went to high school. If I do go back to that town, I usually just sneak in there and see the buddies I want and then leave again because, anybody you see, they want to fucking talk about our high school football season. Jesus Christ.
Dude, I'm with you, man.
That's the furthest fucking thing from my mind. And if that's what is exciting for you to talk about, fuck, man, maybe you would reconstruct your life.
I think we've all been there, right? We've ran into people that you haven't seen in 20 or 30 years and you talk to them and it's like, we're still just stepping out of high school. You're like, man, isn't there something, haven't you gone through something else? But anyways, let's do the fit dip with C Marty Fit. Christopher Martin, come back and talk about a few other things I got on the agenda. Let's get after it, Marty.
Let's get it. All right, we got the fitness tip for today. Stop listening to things you made up in your head to take you off your fitness journey. You're probably thinking, what is he talking about? I'm about to tell you. So a lot of people will make up some type of myth in their head. For example, oh yeah, I'm not doing leg day. I don't want to look like a bad chick. I don't want to look like a model. I don't want to do that, so I'm skipping legs. Bro, what are you talking about? You complaining that your knees hurt. You're complaining about your lower back. You're complaining about all these things, and you're skipping leg day because you think it's going to make you look like a girl? What are you talking about? Ladies, if we have any ladies watching the show, I'm skipping upper body. I don't want to be a bodybuilder. Where did that come from? So you think that you lifting 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 12 pounds, 20 pounds, you're automatically going to look like John Anderson? You think that's what's going to happen? Right? Nobody told you that. You never learned that. There's no science to back it up. You made that up in your head because you don't want to put the work in. Right? You're hesitant. You know it's going to be uncomfortable. You're getting out of your comfort zone. It's a new routine for you. You're going to be sore. You're going to have to change some things in your daily routine to stay with the gym. But I'm telling you, it's all worth it at the end of the day. Do not let those childish thoughts stop you from getting on your grind. Start now, stop pushing it off, and get that bullshit out your head. That's the fitness tip for today.
The attitude, Marty. Yes.
Yeah, man.
People need a good reminder of that, don't they?
They have to have it, man, because some of the stories I hear and some of the myths and stuff, it's freaking crazy, man. So, yeah, people need that for sure.
You should write a book on the greatest excuses you've heard while being a gym.
Yo, that's a great idea, actually.
Like, honest to God, and it would be fun. You could do a chat GPT. You could split it up pretty quickly. It could be, the 100 best excuses I've heard as a fitness trainer from Christopher Martin, aka C Marty Fit. Get it out there, get it published, and just make little quotes, right? Little quotes with an image, like an AI generated image. That'd be pretty fucking fun, man. That'd be really fun because I'm sure you guys have heard some stupid fucking things. Good morning, Bernard. Speaking, brother.
I can't lift weights. I get big too fast. No, you lift weights, you get a little hungry, and you eat more of your shitty diet, and you get fatter. That's what happens.
That's what happened. Yeah.
That's exactly. Hey, Johnny, Marty, I found something here for you guys, and especially you, John, because I know you and I've talked about reading and your challenges growing up as a young man and so forth. And I found something like that I thought was quite interesting, actually. Inside the reading brain, what really happens when you read? And then, guys, we're going to get to the deep dive topic after that around just ditching email on a regular basis. But, guys, you ever wonder what really happens in your brain when you read? Whether you're flipping pages or reading aloud, your brain lights up in remarkable ways, activating a vast network of regions that work together to decode symbols into sound, meaning, and emotion. Understanding how reading affects your brain can help unlock better learning, stronger communication skills, and so forth. It's not just a skill, it's a full body cognitive experience that reshapes your mind over time. And it all starts with visual recognition, starts it all. The visual cortex identifies letters. Those signals move to the temporal cortex, the brain's ability to link signals to sounds. And then there's the network of comprehension. The left hand.
It's interesting you're going into all this because I just last week realized that I sometimes will read before I do my sitting, and what my new term is not sitting in silence, it's creating solutions.
Yes.
But I've realized that if I read first, I actually get in faster. Because when I read, I have to focus on just reading, which gets rid of some of the noise, which then allows me to get into my space faster.
Well, this
sounds like that's what you're describing.
This might be helpful for you because there's the network of comprehension. The left hemisphere becomes a hub for meaning making, connecting the temporal and frontal cortexes to interpret words and sentences, whether read silently or aloud. And then the right cerebellum in reading aloud. When reading aloud, the right cerebellum helps convert written words into spoken language, an overlooked but crucial player. And then, Johnny, Marty, you get some structural brain changes. Your reading increases gray and white matter, thickening the corpus callosum and reorganizing brain functions to free the left hemisphere for linguistic tasks. And fiction and empathy. Reading stories activates the brain's default network. So here, John, it's coming to you, right? Letting it stimulate other people's experiences, building empathy and social understanding, turning a reader into a better thinker and feeler. The bottom line is and as this article discusses, when you're reading, you're activating your entire body. So, Johnny, it's probably no coincidence that when you're sitting down there, working through your solutions, when you start reading, you're getting those neurons firing in your brain, right? And perhaps speeding it forward.
Well, I mean, it's because reading has always been a challenge for me.
Yes.
It was just a few years ago where I decided, okay, I need to read a little bit every day.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things that I noticed when I started to read, it was because one of my middle daughter actually said, what do you notice from doing this, Dad, other than you getting better at reading? Because she was challenged with reading too, and I had to help her be a better reader.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the crazy part was what I noticed was it actually made me better at keeping my attention in conversation. My comprehension of another person talking to me went fucking way up.
I bet. Well, sure.
Because, I was one of those motherfuckers, and I still am, and I have to be really careful. It's like we're having a conversation, and all of a sudden I'm thinking about what the fuck I'm going to say next, and I'm not listening to what you're saying. That's not a conversation.
No.
Like, God damn it, stop that dumb shit.
Yeah, there's certainly a skill with I will tell you that this show and the one I did previous has taught me a lot about not only listening, asking questions, but really paying attention to what my speaker is saying so that I can respond accordingly and not be thinking in my own head. And I think a lot of people, a lot of folks, in my experience anyways, aren't actually listening to what you're saying. They're thinking about what they're saying next.
Yeah. I gotta, I mean, my blood dad was like that. My fucking neighbor here at the lake is like that.
Yeah.
But the difference is when you know it, that's helpful. Like my buddy next door, we're having a conversation, and he's actually said it to me before, so I can call him out with love, and he likes it. But people that don't recognize it, it's like, holy Christ, just like fucking plumb change the subject in the middle of someone's sentence.
Oh man, I hate that shit.
Oh my Lord. And you know what? I had a bit of that because my blood dad was like that. My sister used to so my sister's getting married. She's gets engaged. So she brings the dude, great dude, to come meet my dad.
Yeah.
And they're having fucking dinner. And like she said, like 3 fucking times, just he's talking about something about him so that, my dad could get to know him.
Yes.
And just fucking bam, just change the subject. And finally, she just fucking uncorked on him. Dad, what are you doing? This is the 3rd time you've done this. He's trying to talk to you and you're not paying attention. He had no clue. It's like you almost can't get mad at somebody for something that they're doing and they have no fucking idea.
You can't, Johnny. You have to find a way to teach them that they need to be enlightened. I think I told Marty this story before when we were first hanging out. I had a buddy who I knew who would walk up to me and would just drop something. Like you'd be hanging out doing something, you'd be working out or something.
Like you'd physically drop something?
No, like just drop a comment. Like Johnny, you and I be in the gym somewhere. Let's use Marty. Let's use Marty as the buddy. So you and I are training. We're having a conversation, training in the gym, and all of a sudden Marty would walk up to us and he'd say, "Yeah, so I cooked a steak last night." Just like out of the blue, and you're like, "What?"
But it's something that didn't really have much. Okay,
you're like, why do I care?
No,
was it good?
It was just, but it would be the weirdest things. He'd walk up to you and he'd say, "Yeah, so I saw the sun wasn't shining last week." What? Like he was just.
Well, sometimes people are so socially awkward. They just trying to open the fucking door of a conversation. Like when someone comes to me and says, "How much do you bench?" I know they're not fucking, or excuse me, that's the wrong one. When they say, "Do you work out?" I know that they know that, but they're just trying to open the conversation. Yeah. So when someone says, "Hey, do you work out?" I say no.
Yeah.
And then they realize how silly they're being. We both have a giggle, and then the ice is broken.
That's hilarious.
I got people walking up to me saying, "Keith, are you tall?" Yes.
I didn't hook up my buzzer today. You're lucky as hell. You are lucky. I didn't hook it up today. You're lucky.
Yeah, but our man Keith is fucking 9 feet tall in his own mind, and that's what matters.
That's exactly.
That's all that matters.
Including,
but on that level, go on and get back in the village and clean up for us while we get something to eat. Go on now.
Oh man. Okay, I have a fork in the road decision to make. Johnny, do you want to go for a piss break or do you want to do your lifestyle tip? And I know Marty's got a rock and roll as well.
I'm actually doing pretty well.
All right,
so I'm good.
Marty,
are we sure, Johnny?
Stan is giving my bladder a little more room. I think.
That's good. Marty, you got a rock and roll?
Yeah, I'm a rock and roll. I'm gonna try standing one of these days. You're standing right now, Johnny?
I am, yeah. And the reason it came about was because I stretch, and I actually am stretching right now, but I've got a better position stretching. So I was just telling Keith that I was kind of taking my stretch to the next level, but it was pitching me in kind of a funny sitting position. It created this fucking pinch under one of my shoulder blades that I couldn't get to go away. Then I realized it was because I was in a bad position sitting.
All right, I'm gonna try that. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, you try that. Okay,
all right, y'all.
Let's do this. Marty, you rock and roll, brother. Have yourself an awesome day, pal.
Yes, sir. See y'all tomorrow, man.
You get after. We'll see you tomorrow. Johnny, we're going to do the lifestyle tip with you. Then we're going to come back and talk a little bit about email. Let's do it, Johnny.
All right. We were kind of talking earlier about living in the past. Well, here's the thing. Looking back into your past is not a bad thing, but how are you doing it is the question you got to ask yourself. If you're looking into the past to see, hey, you know what? That's pretty cool. I did that. And you know what? Next time I have an opportunity, Sim, I can do a little bit better. That's the kind of stuff you're looking for. But if you're looking into the past to live in your glory days, that may be kind of counterproductive to your future. What you really should be interested in is what you're going to do tomorrow, not what you did yesterday. But here's the thing. If this sounds like you, just remember it's kind of a learned behavior. You've done it enough that your brain is very comfortable going into the past because it's familiar. The future tends to be a little scary for people. Why? Because it's unknown. But here's the thing. Whenever you did that great thing in the past that you love to talk about, you had to go through the unknown to get there too. So recognize that stepping outside your comfort zone is exactly what you need to do so you can create another one of those situations or another one of those moments and make your life better. And you just keep repeating that process. Next thing you know, it's a whole different life. So that being said, just be careful with how you're looking into the past, and are you using it to your benefit to move into the future? Rock and roll.
This is Johnny playing off. We talked about this morning, be present, right? Be present, look forward, look back, but sometimes don't look too far around the corner. Don't look too far around the light yesterday's corner either.
Bro, I try to avoid using the word present.
Yes.
Unless I know I'm talking to somebody who understands it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because that's a hard, it's like some people, there's a whole series of words people don't really understand. The present, intention, abundant. Like, okay, I kind of get what that means, but I don't really know how to apply it to myself. And when we're given messages, we want to do it in a way that we're not using words that people don't understand. Because a person that does understand is going to download the message. But if that whole thing was about be present, and that right out of the gate, that could take someone who doesn't understand the word and throw them off they really didn't download the rest of the message. Does that make sense?
100%. You use the word intention. I like the word intention. I do
too.
I think human nature, Johnny, makes people afraid of the word intention because when we use it,
I think a lot of people don't know what it means though.
And that's fair. I can't disagree with you there. I think
I didn't for a long time.
That's fair. Yeah. I think that it's I think intention's scary because when we lean into intention, what comes next with intention's accountability. What comes next with accountability is either failure or success. So you start playing with those words, it becomes scary to folks, right? Because okay, well, I got to intentionally get up today to go try to achieve a goal. If I don't get it, I'm going to fail. It's scary. No, it's okay, right? And those words are they give people goosebumps. And so when you can lean into it, so if you can have awareness and then create intention out of that awareness, that is, I think, when magic happens, right? And that's the difference between proacting and reacting, because intention is powerful, but it means you got to commit. Like when you're
and I think part of that whole thing with intent, like I was looking too deep into the word.
Okay.
When
overthinking it.
Yeah, overthinking it. And really, it's like, an intention, like, okay, it's like put another word with it. Like when I'm coaching my clients, how do you intend to behave today to move closer to your goal? That makes better sense than what's your intention for the day?
Oh yeah. Well, because you're prefacing it with a question, right? How are you intending to do it?
But I said intend to behave. That second, or how do you intend to think? That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're giving intention one more piece or one more description to get people moving in the right direction.
Yes,
that's how I kind of started to get a hold of it. Like, okay, shit, I can, it's like you could also say, look, I want to behave today this certain way so that I can make progress. I intend to behave this way, So it's like I just try to break things down simply for people that don't understand a word that might put them on their heels, because if you're on your heels, you're not moving forward.
If you're 100%, you're stuck.
Yeah.
You're absolutely stuck. Yeah, absolutely.
A confused mind has a very difficult time stepping forward.
Yes. I'll talk about stepping forward. Today's deep dive topic today was all about stopping checking email constantly. And here's what happened. And I want to talk a little bit about it. I came up in a world.
That's a good one, bro. That's a good one.
I know. And I want to get into it. So I came up in a world with the BlackBerry, Johnny. The BlackBerry changed my life. And what I mean by that is when I was growing ICUC, I was coming out of Cantel Cellular Company here in Canada. I had one of the first 4 BlackBerries here in Winnipeg, and I got used to this idea of always
4. Like there was only 4 of these phones in the whole fucking country of Canada.
No. In Winnipeg, when they launched the network, they were starting to outlay some of the samples, right? And I was working for the network, and they gave us a few. Okay. So I was one of the early adopters of it. My point is that my eyes opened really quickly to this idea of speed and always on email. And I was actually getting business out of it because I was responding really quickly. I was having, customers reach out for questions about what we could offer. And I was getting them back to email quickly. Like, and you're fast. I'm like, yeah, I'm sitting on my couch and I got this always on email. So that created a competitive advantage for me. And I really leaned into that. And in the same breath. So, and then as I went through the world of ICUC and and all of that, and we come into the world of today, when I came back into the lab and started creating the future of today, I took a step back from how I was treating email and I stopped living in my inbox. I stopped living in it. I stopped obsessively checking. I stopped. And when I say checking, I know we get notifications, but sometimes you kind of get into the habit of going, oh, okay, did I overlook something? Did I miss something? And I would spend a lot of time in my inbox until I learned one thing, Johnny. And here to me was the biggest thing. I learned one thing, that when I'm living in the inbox, I'm living in your priorities, not my own. When I'm living in the inbox, I'm living on what you want me to do. Because when you email me, it's like, hey, can you respond to this? And then we as a human automatically think that I got to respond to you. And I find that when we spend our time living in our inbox, what we're actually doing is we're living in somebody else's priorities, not our own priorities. Do you follow what I'm saying, Johnny?
It's a great way to look at it, brother. And then of course, that's so early. That was like one of the first.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the early behavior patterns of dopamine just fucking.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right.
Because it's like, holy Christ, that's why social media is so addicting.
Yes.
And it's kind of like with social media or even texting, it's like, especially if there's someone live, like in the room with you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You have to ask yourself a simple question. Do I want to spend time with this person that I can touch? Do I want to spend time with this person on the other end of this device?
Right.
What's more important?
Yes. Well, and I also found, Johnny, that living in the inbox created a bunch of, and I've coined this term, this quote unquote artificial urgency, where we believe it's urgent, but in reality, there's nothing urgent about it at all. It's only urgent because I got this email from Johnny and he's got a question for me. And now, so here's what we all don't think about, right? So I'm using you and I as a role play. Okay, so John wakes up today, I got to email Keith. It's on John's email. It's on his to-do list. So he emails Keith, checks it off the to-do list. John's happy. He's got his priority done. Yet I'm sitting here going, well, hold on a second here. Now I'm living here based on responding to you. And for folks that don't create intent, I believe that's how folks' days go sideways, because they live in their inbox and they're constantly responding to Johnny, to Bernard, to Marty, to Clody. And before they know it, the day is gone and they haven't achieved anything with intent of their own stuff because they're busy helping others check off their own, everybody else's lists.
Dude, sometimes checking things off the list can feel like you're being productive, but what are the items on the list?
Yes.
I mean, it's productive. It's productive procrastination.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's exactly I would say when I procrastinate, it's never not doing something. It's just doing the wrong shit. I can't even say wrong. It's just lower on the totem pole of importance.
That's a conversation we should have one day on the show, which is,
buddy,
because I think, again, many of us go to the easy things to do, get the to-do list done because we're avoiding the difficult one. I'll get to that one a little bit later. I think we all as humans do it, right? Nick, you said it's not so much for procrastinating. It's that you're choosing to go do that instead of what you really need to be doing.
Well, it kills me, the thing that when I'm looking at something and I'm like, okay, do I have time to dig into that?
Yes.
Right? And time is that thing that I protect. I'm like, okay, I don't want to start it and then lose momentum. And So that's where my brain gets a hold of me. It's like, just fucking start, dude.
Yep.
You'll pick up where you left off.
Yes. Yeah. We got Cody coming in with HVAC, high value activity. That's exactly it. And he also comes back with email and social media is asynchronous communication meant to be outside of real time. As long as we routinely respond and set expectations, we're good. I agree. Set the right expectations on response time. And be driven. Bernard comes in. I think it's great to be prompt as a business owner. Vital, really. And I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you, Bernard. And I think you can set yourself aside by prompting quickly. By responding quickly. And because here's the fine balance for me. Again, using the Keith and Johnny thing. If John's emailing me looking for business, well, I know his wallet is open. I'm jumping and responding right away. That to me is the number one priority. He's like, hey Keith, I got some questions about this thing. I'm curious about buying from you. Okay, well his wallet's open. I'm dropping everything because that becomes an instant priority, right? So that to me is a good use of spending my time in my inbox. But you got to be careful because you can be sucked into activities that are draining you. And then we got Mark Kemp saying, I agree 100%. Emails forces into someone else's priority list, but a client's needs, if urgent, do take priority. Yes, exactly. And then
and the dopamine thing can be used for you or against you.
100%. Yep.
And if you don't understand how, like when the dopamine is the do it again drug.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But here's the question you got to ask yourself. What the fuck are you doing again?
What? And then again and again and again.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing that we all do often, right? We're always beating ourselves up. We do it again and again and again and again and again.
And if it's something that's not serving you or the ones you love, that's that negative spiral that gets a hold of people.
That's right. That's right. All right, bro. Let's keep it rock and rolling here, man. We're getting to the top of the hour here, John. Let's talk about a habit stack hack. We started introducing them last week, and we're continuing to work through them here. And I have one here today, which is the cold blast power word. Now, truthfully, I haven't spent much time looking at this one here today. I kind of wanted to surprise myself, but let's get into it. Can you turn water into rocket fuel in 30 seconds? Most showers end lukewarm, and so does your drive.
Hold on. Say that. Start that over. Can you turn what?
Yeah. Can you turn water into rocket fuel in 30 seconds? And here's the context. Okay. Most showers end lukewarm if you're spending enough time in there, and so does your drive. Hold
on. And lukewarm, like you ran out of hot water.
Yeah, exactly.
There's this new fucking invention called InstaHot.
Here's the reveal: the cold blast power word. Flip the tap to ice mode for 30 seconds while saying one word that sums up today's vibe. So the idea the idea here is this, Johnny. As you're showering and you're ending your shower, the last 30 seconds so here's the trigger. You're showering, the trigger is your last 30 seconds. Think of a word that is going to capture your vibe today and shock your body for 30 seconds with cold water, flooding noradrenaline, spike in alertness, vocal those power words, and then get the hell out of the shower. Have the shower and then end it with a 30-second cold shower with a big word that gets through the day. Do you like that or not like that?
I love it, but
yeah.
What about the people that don't shower in the morning? That's me. I'm not doing that before I go to sleep. I'll tell you that much.
You don't shower in the morning? I did not know that. No.
Brother, when I go to bed tomorrow, I'm fucking locked and loaded.
Oh yeah.
All I got to do is brush my teeth.
So this is interesting. So when I get out of bed, brother, the first thing I do is I get up, I go for a piss and go right into the shower. Because it's like before my day starts. I have 3 showers before my day starts. I gotta have a shower before my day starts, and then I train before I get on the show. And then I shower again before the show, and then after the show, I head back to the gym again to do some things to unwrap because my brain is just like. So I go and get a lift in or go for a walk or just do a stretch, and then I shower again. So I'm at it 3 times. I just assumed that we all shower before our day starts. I did not realize that.
Well, because here's the thing. I mean, I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I played with, cold exposure in the morning.
Yes. Yes.
And again, I'm not saying it's wrong for everybody.
No. Yeah.
But I realized that for me, breaking a sweat is far more effective.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think to myself that X amount of minutes in the shower could be spent doing X amount of minutes, sucking my wind away with something.
Yeah. So instead,
all I got to do is severely lose my wind.
Yeah.
And that it's for me, I'm far more clear. But I will say, first thing I do when I get up and I go out, drink that glass one of these of water.
Yeah.
And then I go take cold water, splash it on my face, because my eyes are usually, you get that fucking chummy shit in your eyes. And I like to get that out of there ASAP.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I've played with that for sure.
Yeah.
And I just also like the idea, like, okay, you've done everything you can do to prepare for tomorrow to be the best. And when I was doing my cold showers, to play with that, or my cold exposure, I still showered the night before, so I was prepared. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's play with this habit stack then. So, for somebody who doesn't start their day in the shower, how do we want to rewire this, or do we want to encourage this stack to fit somewhere inside of somebody's day? Meaning that the idea of this is the trigger is while you're showering, you take the last 30 seconds to re-up the noradrenaline and spiking that alertness and getting that brain going again. And activating the reticular activating system for action. Do you like that, or do we think we need to replay this step?
I love the concept. I just think for this drill that triggers need to apply for everyone. Yeah, like I always use the whole thing of take a piss. Even taking a dump can be in question because not everybody takes a dump. I know some people that take a big dump towards the end of the day. They don't take one in the morning, right? But brushing your teeth. If you're not brushing your teeth, you're a sicko. Get out of here. Start doing it.
Yes.
Well, I shouldn't say you're a sicko. Start fucking doing it. The people around you will appreciate it. You will too when you have your teeth when you're 80. But the idea of attaching these habit stacks, we're focused on the morning for sure.
Yep.
That would be my only. I love it. It's just I think there's a percentage of people that doesn't apply to, and I don't know that we would be able to create.
Yeah. It's funny because and it's funny how we make assumptions, right? And my assumption was everybody just gets up and starts their day with a shower, and I'm not saying, and there's no judgment in it. It's just more of an assumption, right? You brush.
Well, I bet you're probably the percentage is much higher. I think you're in the school that's a much bigger school, a much bigger club of people that do it in the morning. I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
So I guess the question, if we do that one, what's then we have to have another trigger for the people that don't do it.
Shower. Exactly. Well, and this one's linked to the idea of this one is the cold exposure, right?
Mm-hmm. So, So what do we do? Do we, I guess we should make ourselves some rules of engagement. This is actually a really good discussion. Should we only do habit stacks
that link to
for the ones, the link to the morning, I think is great because we're promoting that. But do we only do it to things that we know that everybody does?
Well, there's certainly, it's funny because I assumed everybody's showered in the morning, but to your point, not everybody would.
Totally.
Yeah.
So let's basically go. We haven't used brushing the teeth yet. That's like one of the easiest ones to go to.
Yes.
So let's convert to, brushing the teeth.
So your last 30 seconds of brushing your teeth, what would we want somebody to be doing?
I think since brushing the teeth is only a 3-minute task, I think you stay focused on what you're doing with your teeth, and when you're done, you brush your teeth. That's your trigger. At that point, maybe I'm a big one on some sort of blood flow. Maybe you go for a short walk.
Yeah.
Maybe you do some push-ups. Maybe you spend 3 to 5 minutes doing something that promotes you to breathe a little bit more than your resting heart rate where you woke up, because that blood flow will basically trigger those it'll cascade those chemicals also.
Well, there's no reason
blood flow changes your physiology. Expensive word for positive brain chemistry.
There's no reason you can't finish your brushing your teeth and do some body squats or right on the spot, 10 of them.
Push-ups. I mean, hell, you could even walk briskly around in your house if you needed. There's so many ways you could do it if it's like freezing cold outside, or maybe it's you're in a position where you don't want to. Who knows?
Yes.
Maybe if someone's like, I don't want to be seen walking around my neighborhood at 6 a.m. People have weird shit like that.
So we're gonna invite this chain of thought. As we're going to work towards wrapping up this habit stack here. We're going to work towards chain of thought. You brush your teeth. When you're done, finish brushing your teeth, want to get your blood flow going, whether it's 30-second body squat, 30-second wall hold, 30-second push-ups. But as soon as those teeth are done, an active movement to get that blood flow going and get that heart rate up to some extent. I'm not saying you got to fucking get to 130 beats per minute, but get the heart rate up to get the blood flow going. It's going to start your day more productively if you get your day moving with movement, because movement then creates momentum, and we're all about getting momentum on this show and helping you guys with momentum. Johnny,
and I think we should also, when we can, bring some sort of a non-negotiable, like teeth are done.
Yes,
60 seconds. You said 30.
Yeah,
I think the idea of 1 minute is.
I like that.
Then it turns into 2. You have non-negotiable of 1 minute with some type of activity. Whether you choose to walk briskly up and down your hall for a minute, go outside for a walk, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, do whatever it is, your choice. 1 minute.
What I like about this too, John, is we keep building this out. I'm going to invite our audience to contribute what you've done. So my goal here with this, because Keith and Johnny's goal with this is to start creating these habit stacks and then get you guys engaged with it. So here might be an example how this plays out with some of the content you're going to see us do here, which is, guys, finish brushing your teeth. After that, a minute of something. And then come back to us and tell what that minute is. So, for example, tomorrow on the show, come back and join the conversation, join the comments, say, hey, Keith, Johnny, here's what I did. Great. Because what you did might inspire somebody to do something else. And then ideally, the goal here is that we're all contributing what I've done. So Bernard might have done push-ups. Rick Clody might have done going for a walk. Mark Kemp might have done some bicep curls or done a wall sit. But the idea is to us as a community to recognize that, hey, we're done brushing our teeth. We want to get a blood flow going. And if we all can do that, guys, in a minute, man, we're all just moving in a very, very positive direction. Johnny.
And I think we should also recognize the power of a very small, non-negotiable. Yes. We're giving you triggers. We're giving you possibilities for what it is, for the blood flow. But you've got to basically honor these things with a non-negotiable, only asking 1 minute.
Exactly.
1 minute of your life that can actually change how you think. Think like this. Our lives are kind of determined by our decisions. And when you have a different, when you have a different outlook on your day, you make a different series of decisions, which has a massive ability to change your life. And it sounds really weird to think that, a little bit of blood flow, but I'll use myself as an example. If I don't get my blood flow in the morning, my decision-making is going to be, I'll play small.
Oh, I'm the same way, dude. I'm without a doubt. I need to activate something in my brain. If I don't, then I become a pussy through the rest of the day. I know myself, man. I just
play small. It's like, okay, God damn it. If I had done this the way I normally do, look at the outcome.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. We got some more comments coming in here. We got Rick Clody coming in. What you're describing is a startup routine. You're absolutely right, Clody, to get you going in a positive direction. And then Bernard comes in. What do you do after you brush your teeth personally? What do? I put my contact lens in, actually. Yeah, I brush my teeth and I put my contact lenses in. That's exactly it. And we got Rick Clody coming in. The great idea, Keith. Number 1, piss. Number 2, make bed. Number 3, brush teeth, wash face, comb hair. Number 4, make coffee for family. Set our coffee cups for wife, daughter with creamer. I go black, 5-7 minutes of stretching. Love it. There you go, man. Look at that. So Clody starts the day 10 minutes in the bank, and he's 10 minutes better than he was yesterday. Love that, man. Absolutely love that.
Well, somebody asked, what do we do after brushing teeth? What I do with brushing my teeth is I'll brush my teeth, and that's where I start with. Actually, I do start with my blood flow. But what I'll do is, in many cases, I'll start with my blood flow. Like if I'm doing some sort of lately, I've been doing a vacuum, which is stomach exercise, into 10 burpees. And it's right now that just has my interest. Yeah. So then there's a small break between, catching my breath, feels good.
Yeah.
I go and that's where I go do my mental exercises when I write, because it's crazy. Like when I'm writing after the blood flow or during the blood flow.
Yes.
It's a much different set of words that I'm putting on that paper.
Yes. Well, and Bernard coming in here, you guys are great, man. I love the conversation happening in the comments right now. We've clearly struck a nerve here, Johnny, which is awesome, because that's the whole point.
That's what this is all about, baby. That's exactly right.
I love it. Mark Kemp coming in with morning habit, glass of water, first coffee, stretch, exercise for 5 minutes, shower if not doing anything, sweaty after it. But that glass of water and stretch frees me up, not holding myself in. And then Bernard comes up, Jimmy, put this one up here, because Bernard, I love you. I love your comment, because this one actually, here's one, guys, that's a no-brainer. And I think everybody should make this one a non-negotiable. Stretching may be a good thing. Everyone is capable of at their level. Like, guys, finish brushing your teeth, just touch your toes for a minute. Like, just hang there. Just hang.
Dude.
And just hang.
I love this. It's, everybody's joining in, and it's and I'm just kind of thinking out loud.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand the fucking technology of all this shit.
Yeah.
But what if? Because the whole idea when we talked about this in private was to promote people to do it. How do we get people excited about this?
Yeah.
So and you can see the people that are chiming in. So what if there was some sort of, if someone is taking part in what we're doing?
Yeah.
Is there some sort of like I don't know, like a like a badge or a separate place that they're like in a different, they're in a different club now. Does that make sense?
Dude, are you in my head? I was working on some stuff last night, which is around how can we create like streaks or recognition for folks that are playing along with the habit stack game, right? So, and
do we have the ability to put some sort of a mark on their handle or their name? Or is that I
think there's something we can do. I'm gonna do some looking today. I set up a Reddit community for us so we can get some folks engaging. We obviously got a big community happening here on within the YouTube channel, but there are some things that I think we can do, Johnny, on the badge side of things, or within some of the there's some, as you know, there's some membership opportunities inside of our YouTube channel. So my goal was today. It's funny you bringing this up because I saw my to-do list today, which to look into how we can streak or badge or reward folks for engaging, because I got some stuff.
And once they get there, there's some sort of value that they get.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we put something in there that's going to be more helpful. I don't know what that thing would be.
Yeah,
but so it's like, hey, we're rewarding people for stepping forward and doing this whole thing. And hey, guess what? Here's a helpful tool. Here's some value for you.
Well, that's the goal. And my goal is, because obviously, to all of our listeners, we're Keith and Johnny, we're building a business here, guys. This is being frank. So the more you guys tune in, the more you guys listen, the more you guys engage, the better the business is. So if we can get more people engaging in conversation with us, the better the business is. If we can get you guys, promoting this, doing these things, the better the business is. So, there's obviously there's strategic energy in this. And if we can get you guys on streaks, right? So if Keith and Johnny are showing up here every single day, how do we get everybody, linked to this like accountability type check-in that, I stretched today, check the box. Great. Let's get a reward. So I'm telling you guys, I'm working on this along with Johnny. We're working on this because there's a lot of value in this. These are simple things. And to me, and I love the fucking idea of stretching, because everybody complains about tight hamstrings or can't touch our toes. And as we get older, we're eventually not all going to be able to touch our toes. So we just
let's share something on that real quick. Anybody who doesn't know this, the benefit of stretching will be so much better if you're warm first. Stretching a cold muscle is not very effective, and it actually makes a high risk of injury.
Oh yeah. So
if you're going to stretch, use the habit stack of breaking brushing your teeth, some sort of activity. So stretching should be, I think then stretching should be tagged, or the trigger for stretching should be blood flow.
Like that. I like that. Yeah.
Because if you can invest 5 minutes in something and get more out of it, why would you not want to do that?
Yep. Love it, guys. I love the engagement. And this is a big ambition of ours. And let me peel the kimono back and share a little business insight with you guys. So on the weekend, I was playing with Manus, the chat agent, and I had to do a massive competitive analysis.
Well, I haven't looked at that thing you sent, by the way. I haven't looked at awesome. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I had to do a massive competitive analysis for us on morning shows. And then I had to do a massive competitive analysis for us against kind of shows that would compete against us. And then what it did, John, is it highlighted the gaps in content and gap through those opportunities for us. And one of them is exactly what we're talking about. The accountability, the live, the daily check-in. Like what we're talking about, guys, is uniquely different to no other shows on the planet right now. There's not a show in North America, or frankly the world, that's having this conversation right now. So we're really going to own this. We're going to own this idea of accountability, habit stacking, routine, non-negotiables. And how do I know? Because I've been doing a ton of research on the other shows that are out there, and that you can get this kind of information on, but not in the morning and not live conversation. And B Drive, you're right. Calisthenics. There's some value in that as well.
Hell Lady yeah.
Right? Yes. Right. 100%. Okay. So guys, I want to keep the chat going here, because this is a big one. I know Johnny's going to love this one, because I know I do too. And there was somebody, good time. If you're listening in right now, brother, I invite you to tune into what I'm going to say next, but imagine a future finally where your kids' lunch boxes are dye-free, where sugary cereals are a thing of the past, and where federal food programs are only served nutrient-rich meals. Well, apparently, Johnny, that future is fast approaching. Now, all politics aside, the USDA and Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy are rolling out the most ambitious updates, finally, Johnny, to the U.S. dietary guidelines in decades, targeting everything from artificial dyes to SNAP food access. These changes could affect, and I'm going to say this, will affect every American, North American, from what you can buy with SNAP to what kids eat at school, and even what the military eats in the field. And here's some of the changes happening, Johnny. Expected release early fall 2025. Sugar restrictions. Advocating near zero added sugar consumption. New front of package sugar labels mandatory by next January. Emphasis on curbing obesity and metabolic diseases. FDA phasing out 8 petroleum-based dyes, example, red 4 and yellow 5. Baby. Natural color alternatives fast-tracked for approval. Focused on protecting children and aligning with international practices. Texas leads with legislation banning junk food, federal waivers, piloting restrictions in other states, and controversial but aimed at fiscal efficiency and public health. School meals must emphasize whole grains, plant proteins, and low sodium sugar. Military rations are going to align with all these things. And phase changes, Johnny, will begin by the end of this year. And these changes are aggressively happening. And I'm quite excited about this. And it's hard to say it's taken this long. And can you believe it's taken a quote unquote controversial health official to actually politician to make these changes? It's actually quite ridiculous.
Well, you know, it's crazy, brother. You know, our children are our future, right?
Yes. Yes.
But the fucking food quality in prisons is higher than in the schools.
Yeah. Yes.
Come on. How in the hell?
The
crazy part is prisons are privately owned.
It's a
straight business. It's a straight business. Our government is making the budget so low for school food that the food's so poor quality. It's unbelievable. Yeah. But I mean, I think when it comes down to is, you know, I mean, as we know, politics is all about money, right? And luckily we've got a crew in there that's not too connected to the food, to the profits of food. So they're fucking attacking, you know, food, which is great.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Adam, no, not only plant proteins, they're looking to focus on increasing protein in kids in the nutritional requirements for foods, just, you know, having folks eat more protein. The dye thing still strikes me today, man. Like it's even in my country, like you look at some of the products, you're like, but why did you have to put dye in there? And I know we're finally asking those questions because you're like, geez, like why? But you know, it's about.
But, is it corn syrup that is outlawed in some other countries now? I
think so. Yep, I think it is corn syrup actually. Yes. Yeah.
Highly addictive. What that shit does, so everybody knows, is it's corn syrup. There's a few of these crazy fucking things, but yeah, it basically numbs the receptor in the stomach that says that you've had enough. So the signal ever goes to the brain, says stop eating.
Oh yeah. Man, the way the food plays this. So it was Lauren's birthday on the weekend. Hey, happy birthday, baby. Had a wonderful 40th birthday for her. And obviously we had a little bit of birthday cake. And I love how you always say we are what we eat. Well, I'm going to just share a gross situation with this, right? So I had some wonderful birthday cake and there was icing on the cake, obviously, right? And it was highly colored icing, black and blue and purple, right?
That really changes the color of your shit, doesn't it?
Dude, you go for a dump and you look in the toilet and it's like there's a fucking cake in the toilet. So nobody can ever argue that you are what you eat because you look in your ass,
dude,
you look at the fucking toilet.
Oh my God.
And it's actually
my sister-in-law one time at a birthday party, her child, you know, took a dump and it was green and she just fucking flipped out. I'm like, hey, no, it's okay. Look at the cake that she ate yesterday. You know?
But that's just a great reminder of we are. So if anybody's wondering if you are what you eat, go have some cake with some heavy dyed icing and then go watch your shit later, man.
Brother, and you know what? It's crazy. It's like you are what you eat has been so overplayed. People just kind of dismiss it. But if you think about this, what you eat becomes you.
100%.
And sometimes just the phrasing a little bit different.
Yes.
You know, it's like if you want to build some muscle, you eat some muscle.
Well, it's such.
You want to build some Cheeto.
It's so obvious.
Cheeto.
It's so obvious.
You know what I mean?
Difficult.
What's that?
It's so obvious, but yet we all find it so difficult often. Hey, I got something interesting for us, and I know we're all about helping folks out. The CIA stress hack: make faster, smarter decisions with a simple rule. Guys, get this. You ever feel like you're drowning in to-dos and you can't think straight? Well, Johnny, the CIA trains operatives to stay sharp and decisive under intense pressure. Today, I'm going to break down their 3-part method that can help you guys regain control in high stakes or everyday stress. Now, these decision-making techniques don't just work in the field. They're actually game changers in daily life, in work, in personal, parenting, chaos, or just a jam-packed day. Mastering these methods mean clear thinking, less stress, and even more decisive action. Number 1, Johnny, task saturation management. Hear me out. CIA operatives are trained to subtract 2 from however many tasks they think that they can handle. I knew you were going to love this because you
Hold on, say that one more time. I want to download that all the way.
I know. That's why I love this, because you're going to love this. CIA operatives are trained to subtract 2 from however many tasks they think that they can handle. So follow me on this one.
-2. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
If you think you can juggle 5 things right now, immediately cut it down to 3. It's not laziness, it's neuroscience. When the brain is overwhelmed, decision-making suffers. This subtraction rule preserves mental bandwidth, preventing cognitive gridlock, and reducing errors during high-stress moments.
Brother, the thing that Dan Pena is big on this.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
But his whole thing is focus. Your superpower is focus. If you don't focus on one task for any length of time, you're just going to fucking kind of do a bunch of shit just like this versus one task
at 70%. Yeah, exactly.
And it's so the whole idea of -2, you know, how about minus everything but 1?
Well, so here's where it goes next. Once the list is trimmed, we talk about operational prioritization technique. So once you've trimmed your list down, the focus shifts to action or execution. Agents ask this one question of themselves, Johnny. What's the next fastest thing I can do right now? This generates
taking some action, which then makes doing the next one even easier and more effective.
Boom. This generates momentum, keeps you out of paralysis. From sending a text to taking a breath, small wins reset the brain and spark a productive chain reaction. It's like, boom, what can I do right now? What happens? You do it, you're done. Great, I've achieved something. Milestone, the brain's happy, the dopamine's hitting, and I've achieved something. You then go to your next thing. Johnny.
Well, you know what we forgot?
Yeah.
To give me a piss after my fucking lifestyle tip.
We did.
Just I'll make it quick, dude. Just cut me loose. This is a great conversation, but I'm losing my focus because I'm getting ready to pinch the cap. Go. I'm listening. Yes, I'm listening.
Yes, go. So while Johnny's doing that, I'm going to keep recapping, guys. So we're talking about how the CI will help you make better decisions today, guys. So I'm just doing a quick recap while Johnny's having a go at it. So guys, task saturation management. As you're going through your day today and you go, okay, I got 5 things I got to do. Take 2 right away off the list. Boom. Take 2 off the list. Now you got 3 things on your list. And I know you're not lazy, guys. That's neuroscience. So now you got your 3 things left. Now you're going to look at those 3 and you're going to go, okay, what's one thing I can do right now super fast? And you're going to do it. And once you achieve that, it's going to give your brain that feeling of momentum. It's going to keep you out of paralysis, and it's going to help you get after your next task. We got Asolf Kessing saying, what's that? And we got Be Driven Bernard coming in. Increased focus prioritizes you and move forward faster than probably can get 5 done. You're absolutely right, brother. Win the battle to win the war. Hold it now and get right after it. And then number 3, guys, when complexity creeps back in, the CIA agent simplifies it again by narrowing decisions to just 2 options. Just 2. Because binary choices reduce overthinking, aligning decisions with mission goals and preserving clarity. In effect, the mind goes from stuck to decided in seconds. So guys, when you're getting caught up in how complex the decision can be, all the CIA operative is giving you is 2 choices. That's it. Not 3, 4, 5, just 2. Johnny.
I think it's fucking great. first, I think the idea of I'm all about systems.
I know.
And I think, having systems created, whether you use that exact system or you modify it that you feel is going to be a little bit better for you.
Yep.
I think having a system to get from point A to point B is, especially when it comes to our thoughts and our brains, highly, highly effective.
And here's the best way to wrap it up, you guys. Use the -2 rule. The next time your to-do looks impossible, subtract 2 immediately. Guys, I invite you to try it today and come back and tell me and Johnny how it worked. And focus only on what's mission critical. And then ask the quick win question. When stuck, ask yourself, what's the fastest thing I can do right now to make progress? Johnny.
Well, you know what I do, this is kind of my own methodology, is I have in my book, there's columns. So the left column is where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
The next column over is my to-dos. The next column over is calls. The next column over is notes. So in my to-do column, what I do is the stuff that's important is obviously at the top. And there's basically a space. So I'll write the task, space where there's nothing, write the next task, right? But then once I get to where the 3 or 4 down where they're not important, I write them every line. Those are the ones that I can carry forward. I know that there's something I need to keep my eye on, but it's not a priority today. But the reason I have the space in between up there is because they might shuffle a little bit. I'm like, oh Jesus, that one that's in the number 3 spot actually needs to go up. And so I'm basically using that top of my list to kind of toggle what needs to stay in my focus. But it's basically I'll only keep 3 max up top.
What I enjoyed about this conversation, Johnny, when I put it together for us, is that CIA agents are no different than you and I. They're just human beings that are trained.
Yes. Well, brother, it's trained. I make the joke all the time. If the average male that goes to the gym, trains his brain like it did his chest, his life would be so fucking different. It would be unbelievable.
I never thought about that. How many guys are out there striving to get their 6-packs or their chest? And it's fine. It's all, but just pause for a second. And if we all went there to focus on the brain instead, man, how I would change the world, actually, Johnny.
Well, and the thing about it is you only have to train your brain for about 5 minutes a day, because all we're really doing is just helping the brain, helping those neural connections go to the good, not the bad. Our brains were programmed to go to the bad. Yeah. So if we're constantly thinking about the bad, looking at the bad, our decision making is different versus you go the other side of the equation. It's like you got to train your brain to stay in that winning mindset.
Yes. Guys, here's the thing, right? High performers aren't fearless. High performers aren't fearless. They're simply focused. That's the difference. Yeah. That's the absolute. There's no rocket science. There's no magic. It's called focus. And these techniques we talked about that CIA put together prove that cutting back and simplifying can be the most powerful tools in the heat of the moment. I invite you guys to try them. And as Johnny said, tweak them to make them your own. To me, the key takeaway was this. I love the idea of subtraction. I know it's sometimes easier said than done to subtract. And it doesn't make you a loser if you feel like you're subtracting from your list, because here's what I've learned, guys. The loop is going to be here tomorrow and the next day. You've heard us talk about artificial urgency. Find out what you got to get done right now. Cross off the other 2 off your list, get it done, and then move to the next one.
Brother, if you could do less and receive more, would you do it?
100%.
Okay. So I've been saying this for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Remove one bad habit from your fucking day. You're doing less. You don't have, everybody's, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And they're adding on all these extra things that they're trying to do to move forward. No, don't add shit. Just remove one fucking thing.
Well, we've talked about it before, man. And, perhaps it's time to talk about it again. I know you're very good at it. I'm getting better at it daily. And it's using 2 letters in the alphabet that when you string them together adds so much value to life.
Exactly. No.
Exactly.
Dude, I became an expert at no. So much to the point now where I'm having to kind of unlearn some of that behavior.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. Since I've been hanging out with you, I've been leaning more into that because I see the value in it. And because brother, it takes courage.
I was at this event where it's basically it's all about exposing the things inside you that you need to help really make them clear. And you're doing it in front of a fucking audience. There's fucking 100 people out there, 150 people, and you're getting up on stage and you're basically having to talk about, these certain things. And I can't remember what the question was. But it was basically, I was talking about the fact that I got it started off with what's your superpower? My superpower is I'll do the shit that most people won't do.
Yep.
Well, how did you do that? I learned to be really fucking good at saying no.
Yes.
That was the first step, right? Well, then now that you've exposed that, let's talk about the benefits and the positives and the negatives of that. And then you got to start looking, okay, yes, and we know, we understand that no helped me a lot over here, but was there, or now is there a negative side effect from that? And so, when you really start looking at some of the behavior patterns that you use to get ahead, you got to be careful because those same fucking behavior patterns can actually kind of fucking, they can take something away from you. Like, there's been some relationships in my life that I wish that I had not said no to.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't say totally no, but I didn't basically open the door
Invest
to friendship.
Time and energy. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still friends with him.
Yeah.
And it was 20 years ago. There was much more of a intention of him wanting to befriend me.
Yes.
And we were buddies, but I was so focused, and now it's like, I learned so much from this fucking guy, even watching his social media. And when we talk on the phone, it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
This is a dude that
yeah.
So, and the crazy thing is that his whole, and you don't see this often, he led his charge with generosity. Unbelievable. I was so accustomed to those doors being open because people wanted something. He was opening the door with generosity. I just didn't see the pattern of him yet.
Yeah. You thought maybe he was had an agenda.
I mean, I thought it was a really small percentage, but I was just so accustomed to it. And again, I didn't close the door, but I've definitely pushed it. I pushed it the wrong direction.
It takes maturity and awareness and intent to be in the spot you're in now, to have that to reflect upon that.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole thing is, okay, I looking back, I know I don't want to make that mistake again.
Yes. Yeah. That's fascinating, man. Dude, we got some great comments here before we wrap up with you. I know you got a rock and roll here. Roofie coming in with, it's called it's called addition by subtraction. Good to see you here, Roofie. What matters in 5 minutes? Yeah. What matters in 5 minutes, 5 hours, and 5 days from Bernard B. Driven. And we got Be Driven is when making a list, priorities, one's true priorities. That's Lady Drew. Exactly. All right, guys, that was a good conversation on just intent, right? And moving things out to saying no more often will allow you to say yes to the important things in life here. So, Johnny, what do you got going on today, brother? I'm going to walk you out of here shortly so Jimmy and I can wrap up with our community corner, last segment of the show. What do you got going on today, pal?
Well, I've got to finish up here. I'm really excited. I'm going to do a back power clean combination.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm really digging the cleans lately, man.
I know it's
such a dynamic movement. And then Terry actually wants to, she said she's ready to ride the dirt bikes. So we're going to ride the dirt bikes this morning at some point.
Well, that's fun.
And then today's our last day here. We're going to be heading to Mexico tomorrow.
Oh, fun. Okay.
So, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it being so close,
Well, that's exactly, because you just get in the fucking car and go. What are you taking down there?
The Jeep, the new Jeep. Okay. That's why we got it. That Jeep is basically our commuter, because taking the nicer cars down, we just get there, put it in the garage, but still, it's to have a vehicle that we can get there and use while we're there is really helpful.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we got Bernard wishing you the best. Sound like a great day, Johnny. And I got a chest lift to do after the show today, and then I got a few things to get ready for tomorrow, and so forth. And I got some stuff to work on with my AI crew, and we're gonna get after it the rest of the day. What a good show, man! I loved your energy standing. You got to keep standing, brother.
And brother, I've actually got a new form of stretching my hamstrings when I'm standing that's just whooping the ass of the old version. So
what are you doing? How are you standing? Are you standing on tippy toes? Or are you what are you doing?
No. So I have basically I'm standing, right?
Yeah.
And I have the chair that I used to have in front of me. There's actually two of them because it's a podcast table, right? I have one over here and one over here. And so all I do is kick my leg up, right? But see, now I can keep my back in the position it needs to be in. So my hamstrings getting stretched and I'm not getting sucked over like this.
Oh yeah. So now that you said that, I got my left leg up on my desk right now. It's like
there we go. That's it.
So it's up here and I'm standing talking to you, but I got my left leg up. That's actually really good. I'm going to do that actually. Because you guys don't know that I'm stretching, but I'm actually stretching my hammy right now.
I love to do, it's something that we can do I need to do it. Yes. But when I can do it tucked in kind of a place where it doesn't detour from anything, but it doesn't take time. I love it though. I love it.
We're here standing anyways and talking. If we can stretch at the same time, we can get after it, right? So
you know what I didn't say? I mean, I was talking about with business, we actually have done some really, really cool changes in terms of some of the graphics with social media. So I'm really excited about that too.
Fun. I look forward to seeing that. Cool. We got some safe travels, brother, from Bernard at Be Driven Equipment. And
tell me that tomorrow. I'm leaving tomorrow after the show.
I will for sure. Yeah. So guys, we'll bring that back here tomorrow. And Lady Drew's also offering you the best. So we're gonna get Johnny out of here. So Keith and Jimmy will keep going with the community corner. Wrap it up by the bottom of the hour, top of the hour here, guys. So Johnny, great show, man. Great conversation. Great conversation today. What a great kickoff to the week, brother.
It always happens when there's no fucking guest.
Always happens. Yeah, the guys. So we had somebody today, just didn't show up, just ghosted us. There you go. That's how it works. I love the respect people have for other people's time. I just love that. I love how folks are so respectful.
It's like I say this over and over.
Yeah.
But this the fact that happened and I wouldn't even acknowledge that shit.
Oh, it just tells me a lot about somebody's character. That's all. I'll leave it there. I leave that there. All right, brother. Enjoy your day, pal. I loved it. Great chat here today.
Brother, yeah, I was going to say this was good shit. We had great conversations and
a lot of fun.
Look forward to tomorrow. Let's fucking rock.
You and me both. One more thing for B Drive. I love the authenticity you share that you are here building your business with us as support. It's true, guys. That's what we're doing here. We're building a big business right in front of you guys here. Anderson, have a good one, brother. Lots of love to you. Enjoy your day today. Say hi to Terry for me, okay?
You got it, brother. Have a good loop.
Talk to you later. All right. See ya. Jimmy, John is out of here. Got Matthew Roof. Honestly, every time someone cancels, the show seems to get better. Some of the best content you guys put out lately has been at times people don't show. Yeah, listen, it's a combination of both, right? There's okay. Let me peel back the kimono on why the guests. I'll share with you why. So guests do a few things for you guys. I'm sorry, not for you guys. Guests do a few things for the business. Guests expose us to new members. Guests expose our show to their community and their audience. Guests get exposed to what we're building here. And in my experience, when guests show up, they love it and they go back to tell their friends. So there's value in having guests keep content fresh for you guys. So you're not always just hearing Keith and Johnny talk, right? So while I agree that there certainly is lots of value when it's just the Keith and Johnny show, the Keith and John and Marty show, or just the three of us hanging out and chewing the fat and getting you guys engaged, because I love seeing all of you guys' engagement. I love it. B-Drive, Roofy, Clody, all you guys, Lady Drew, this show doesn't exist without the comments, right? And I'll tell you guys on the business side of things, how YouTube works. When there's more comments happening, it's telling YouTube that there's an engaging conversation going on here. And when that happens, YouTube pushes us out to more people, right? So the more we're chatting, the more we're getting engagement and getting pushed out to others. So there certainly is a fine balance. And I see Jimmy, Roofy's backpedaling right now. Of course we love the guests. The point is, I know, Roofy, you were a guest once before too, my friend, right? So, but you're absolutely right, man. The point is you always turn chicken shit into chicken salad. We want more. And it's true, man. I'm with you. And it's the frank reality with it, I'll tell you guys. And I have the platform, my show. Yes, my fucking show. I said, hey, Jimmy, I said before the show, how much you want to bet the guest doesn't show up today? He's like, and you know how I knew, guys? Because, as we approach the show, the guest was supposed to be in at 8:15 Eastern time. And most guests will join the show before 8 o'clock. And most guests will test things out and try things out. So as we were walking into the lab this morning, I said, hey, Jimmy. Jimmy was like, yeah. I said, do you think the guest's going to show today? He's like, I don't know. I said, I don't think so. So I wasn't fully surprised, which is why old Uncle Keith is always prepared for conversations for you guys and for us to have a good chat here. But again, I love the engagement from you guys because I can't do this all myself, right? So the fact that you guys are always engaged, keeps the conversation enlightening and enjoying. And B Drive Bernard comes in and it shows open-mindedness to other points of view with important value. I absolutely agree. Here's what I think strikes me the most with guests, right? Is I don't know how you can't just tell somebody you're not coming. That's to me what strikes me most. Is that if you can't come, that's totally cool. Hey, Keith, Jimmy, I can't make it today. Things have come up, not shown up. But what strikes me most is that when somebody just doesn't show up, just the ultimate ghost, right? Like while we're here, guys, I'm going to do something with you guys. Man. I'm just going to look at my email. Oh, we're talking email. I'm going to look at my email to see if we got a note from the guest. And no. So that's the thing that strikes me most. And let me just look at one more thing. Yeah, the guest even confirmed the show today. So I don't know. It's just I find it somewhat humorous where we have somebody booked and they just don't show up. Yeah, true story. All right, well, guys, let's before we get to Jimmy, before we go to the community corner creator spotlight, I want to get to the Bernard. I'm sure they're fine, and of course we want to pray for their well-being. And if there's one thing I've also learned is we always want to offer grace, right? Old version of Keith would have been probably kind of a dick about the whole thing. But what I've learned is to offer grace. I don't know what happened to this guest. Maybe they slept in. Maybe there's a family tragedy. Maybe there's something that's going on. I get it, right? But I still an entertainer, still like to have fun. So the whole fun part of this thing is it's also fun to make light of the folks that just ghost us, or we could throw them under the bus, right? Jimmy, can you pull up that poll that we did? We ran a poll yesterday, guys, on LinkedIn around email. Back to the email conversation. I stopped checking emails constantly. Well, we ran a poll, and if you guys know me well enough, I like to add a joke when we talk about when we ran a poll, because we didn't run a what's up, good time. A good time. Were you around for the FDA discussion earlier on the show? Good time. I talked about something you and I have been talking about for a long time here. The FDA is changing shit, and the nutritional guidelines are coming up here. So we talked about that earlier today. But we ran a poll, and I want to talk about that poll here. Oh, good. So Jimmy, can we throw that poll up here for Nation so I can we can talk a little bit about it? You want to throw on the screen here, Jim? Awesome. So we ran a poll, and I'm pulling it up on my screen as well. But apparently I got to log into my LinkedIn because I have been logged out of it. So I'm going to do that, and I want to read it with you guys here. Here's the poll. So we ran a poll yesterday. I used to open my email, check one thing, 45 minutes later, yada, 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 yada. So we got into how many times a day do you check your email? And we had 22 votes. And the consensus was it was a large split of 23% across, with the 32% around the I've lost count. But much of the comments is what really struck me, Jimmy, which was that's like counting how many times I think, I blink. Sometimes people email me with a quick question, and then I'll see it a few days later, and Rick Emmerich comes back. I'm just Gen X, just call and then get off the phone. Mark Kemp comes in and says, 3 to 5, I would guess. Is how much he checks his email. Robert Daniel, he comes in and says, good life hack: get an executive assistant to check, sort, and respond to most emails. Jonathan Whipple never checks email. Good job there, Whipple. You get to control your time when you're not checking your email. So I found this fascinating. We kind of ran this poll here to see, just to get some level of engagement around how many folks are checking email and how active are people doing that. And then, bringing the conversation back to canceling. Matthew Roof come back with that: proactively canceling if necessary is actually the kind thing to do. Takes less time than scheduling and keeps the opportunity open. Speaking of kindness, you guys know we like to lean into much kindness, uncommon kindness here on the show. Our buddy Matthew Roof, who's leading that charge, there's a lot of value in being kind. There's no question about that. So, okay, Jimmy, let's keep it rolling here. I'm moving over to the community corner, and I think it's this time where I add the music that sounds a little bit like this. Yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. All right, Jimmy, I got the community corner happening, pal. I'm opening it up. I'm getting my notes ready. I can hear the music in my ears. Welcome to the community corner, where we highlight what's happening, what's shaking across LinkedIn and Substack and shine a light on the people asking better questions. Yeah. From TikTok's not-so-quiet pivot into wellness to a guy who's journaled every day for 57 years to a few posts that might ruffle some feathers. Inside the lab today, we're going to cover it all. Let's get right into it. LinkedIn story number 1. All right, so TikTok wants you to meditate. Should you trust it? Olivia Singh shed some light on TikTok's rollout of guided meditations, which is pushing late-night users, especially teens, to wind down after 10 p.m. But Olivia is not here to celebrate a wellness update. She's asking, is this really helping or is it strategy? TikTok paired it with a $2.3 million mental health donation. It sounds noble, but it's also smart positioning. Blending behavioral design with brand rehab and regulatory signaling. All this nudging? It comes with serious data risks, sleep tracking, mental health prompts, and privacy gray zones. Guys, Olivia's warning, most orgs aren't ready for what the signals. This isn't just about meditation, you guys. It's about what digital responsibility has to look like moving forward. Proactive, ethical, or audible. Olivia has an opinion on the TikTok wanting you to meditate more often than not. I invite you to go check out the article on Olivia's profile. LinkedIn story number 2. If AI replaces everyone, who's left to buy? Well, the Wall Street Journal ran a piece on how corporate leaders are talking differently about their teams. The message, perform or get replaced. Ed Navarro reflected on this in a LinkedIn post, and he agrees. Everyone's replaceable. But he's asking a bigger question, you guys, and here's the question. If companies start replacing everyone with AI, what's the ripple effect? Bosses are getting more combative. Employees are disengaging. And there's a growling culture of zero fucks given on both sides. And according to Ed, that's a problem. Because if AI replaces everyone, who's left to spend the money? What's the ripple effect on that one? When every tech company automates its workforce, do we end up in a loop of AI selling to AI like the snake eating its own tail? Jimmy, I got an opinion on that. Yeah. To those of you who don't think it's coming, it is. It's just the reality of it. Your AI agent talks to my AI agent, right? Your AI cold caller gets routed to my AI gatekeeper to get the news delivered to me so that, it can be brought down into TL or DR. Too long, didn't read, right? So there's no question in my mind that this is happening. There's too many folks being ignorant to the fact that it's happening. All right, LinkedIn story number 3. Rob Fraser thinks that our morning routines are sales pitches. Rob Fraser came out swinging. Anybody preaching their morning routine is essential for success is probably trying to sell you something, except us on the show. Now look, if you've spent 5 minutes inside mornings in the lab, you know we're all about owning your morning. So Rob's post, let's just say it caught the attention. But here's the thing. We're not here to sell you a 6-step sunrise ritual, baby. No, we're here to build habits that help men show up with clarity, purpose, and energy. That's not a pitch. It's a practice. It's reality. So Rob, I got an invite for you, brother. Consider this an open invite. Come join us in the lab, watch how we run the morning, and then tell us if you still think it's just a gimmick. And I'm going to invite you to consider this. You might be surprised by what you find when you judge the routine by the results. Rob, we'd love to have you on the show, brother. I see your comments, real facts. Rob is probably a slouch. No, I don't think. I think Rob's probably a pretty good dude. Love to have Rob on the show. Rick Cody coming with AI is coming. And yes, most of us are replaceable. What's your leverage? We all have it. We all have the leverage. Use your brain. Be open to change. Be open to trying new things. All right, let's pivot to Substack, you guys. Substack story number 1. What 21,000 days of consistency looks like. Viv Chen met a man named Raymond Holbert at a fashion event in the Bay Area. Sharp style, 80 years old, and more grounded than most 30-year-olds. But the real story wasn't what he was wearing. It was what he was doing for the last 57 years. Guys, he'd been journaling for 57 years every single day. And Viv asked him why he started. He said it was a way to process life. No big plans, no brand, just the habit of showing up on the page every single day. The number that stuck with Viv, 21,000 entries. One man, one ritual, no excuses. If you want to dig into Raymond's story, I invite you to check out Viv Chen's article titled, "This is what 80 looks like on Substack, the molehill." Guys, it's a great example of reps. Just put the reps in. Do enough reps, it all adds up over time. Substack story number 2, mental health awareness isn't the goal. Dean Burnett wrote a piece on Substack that hit a nerve, and I wanted to talk about it. Dean's a neuroscientist, but this one wasn't the brain science. It was about culture. And Dean asked a bold question: has mental health awareness gone too far? Not because awareness is bad, but we've started confusing awareness with progress. Just talking about it isn't the win. The goal isn't to normalize symptoms. The goal is to get better. And Dean points out that in some circles, we've made it easier to label the pain, but harder to push through it. If everything is trauma, nothing is growth. If every hard moment is a disorder, what happens to resilience, guys? And Dean's not about anti-awareness. He's pro-action. And that's the shift that we need. Hey guys, you want a sharper mind? Stop playing games. Dr. Julie Frantoni dropped the truth bomb on Substack. Most brain advice, it's fluff. Play puzzles, do brain games, stay sharp. But as a cognitive neuroscientist, she's telling you flat out, that stuff doesn't carry over into real life. No. If you want your brain to stay sharp, practice the things you want to be good at. Skills that matter in real situations, critical thinking, problem solving, compassion. It's simple. Your brain gets better at what you train it to do, period. Let's reflect back on the story a few moments ago. 21,000 journal entries. Do you think that fella's brain was better after 21,000 entries? I suspect so. Guys, if you got a take on today's stories, drop it. If you've seen a conversation on LinkedIn or Substack, we should spotlight next, tag us. And if you disagree with something we said, even better. I love the discourse. Jump into the ring. Let's have a conversation. That's what we do with the Conduit of Conversation. I'm your host, Keith Bellis. This is the Community Corner. Every single day we celebrate, folks. Talk about stories, talk about conversations that are happening to bring them to life as we move into the creator spotlight happening over on Jimmy. I'm on LinkedIn, brother. All right. Let's keep it rocking and rolling. This guy didn't grow his business in a boardroom. Nope. He built it between feeding posts and fixing fences. While some folks are out chasing likes and leads, he's raising a barn and raising the bar on what real networking actually looks like. Because here's the thing, he's not trying to impress anybody. He's building something that works, and he's doing it with people who are just as all in as he is. This guy turned his back on awkward coffee chats and transactional mixers and built a nationwide community where entrepreneurs show up for each other, do real business, and have a damn good time doing it. He's a farm guy. He's a storyteller, a straight talker with 2 decades in sales and 0 interest in playing small. His name is Donnie Boivin. What's going on, Donnie? I see you there. I'm just opening up. I just lost my notes here. I'm sorry. Donnie Boivin. I mispronounced the name there, Jimmy, so we want to make sure we get that cut properly. Donnie Boivin, we're celebrating you here this morning on Mornings Live with Keith and Friends. He's the founder of Success Champion Networking, the leader of the Badass Business Summit, and probably the only person on LinkedIn who can teach sales, share a GOAT story, and make you laugh all in one post. If you've been trying to grow your business by playing it safe, I invite you to check out Donnie Boivin. He's your wake-up call. Follow Donnie, even if it's just for the baby goats. And Donnie, here's how it works, brother. Love to have you on our show. Yeah, we'd love to celebrate what's going on in your world. And we'd love to celebrate somebody in your orbit as part of our creator spotlight in the Community Corner on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. All right, Jimmy, let's get to the next one, pal. Let's get to our next one here this morning. And we're going to head on over to Substack, guys. We're going to head over to Substack. And we are going to talk about this idea that you think you're up to speed on culture. You scroll for 5 minutes and you're already behind. You're like, oh, I'm already behind. What the hell? In a world where every brand is fighting for attention with the same trending audio and copy and paste memes, it's easy to confuse noise for strategy. But there's a difference between riding the algorithm and understanding the culture behind it. This creator we're going to celebrate today knows the difference. And he's built a newsletter that shows you exactly where the internet is heading before your CMO even realizes it. He doesn't just chase trends, he deconstructs them, from dissecting viral campaigns to spotlighting the best scroll-stopping content each work. Jimmy, I'm doing the piss dance here right now, bro. I got to tell you, man, I might have to pinch it off. He's helping marketers, strategists, and creators get sharper, smarter, and more culturally relevant. Yeah, we might as well keep that into the cut too, man, just so the nation can know how it works here in real life. This guy's work doesn't just reflect internet culture. It predicts where it's going next. I'm going to tell you guys, if you guys turn on a morning show right now on CBS, NBC, Fox, no host is talking about having to go for a piss. No, they aren't. We do on this show. Yeah, we talk about that kind of stuff. His work just doesn't reflect internet culture. It predicts where it's going next. Now, is he? How is he? New York City-based social director. Today, we're introducing you to Byron Stewart. Now, this guy's worked with Foot Locker, High Snobiety, Amazon, and top creative agencies. He's the creator of Tapped In, one of the smartest Substacks in the marketing game. Byron Stewart is shaping how culture is seen, shared, and sold. Hey, Byron, we got to get you on our show, man, because we're creating culture here every single morning. And if you care about staying relevant in marketing, you need Byron's perspective. I invite you to check out New York City-based social director Byron Stewart and follow his Substack along the way. So guys, and Byron, here's how it works, brother. We'd love to have you on the show. We'd love to have you on the show to celebrate somebody in your world on tomorrow's Creator Spotlight on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. All right, Jimmy, there we go, pal. There is our Creator Spotlight, our community corner. And on behalf of everybody here, I'm doing the dance. And on behalf of everybody here, I'm going to get out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock right here on Eastern Time. LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. Jimmy, I got to go over there. Turn the show off. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock right here. Ciao. Bye.